One of my mutuals, who is a real life person that I have known since I was 15, was allegedly just arrested for murdering an 83-year-old man.
Grand Rising, everyone. I wanted to do a quick Oracle card pull.
Like, her account is insane.
Not okay to just go into somebody else's energy field and do energy work on them, or pull through messages, or communicate with their guides or their passed on loved ones. It's not okay. Hi, my little tater tots. It is portal season and there's full moon today and there's lots of crazy energy going on. So I wanted to offer discounted mini tarot, oracle, and channel message readings. It's very important you listen to this message. Don't drink alcohol. It's very mean.
Hello and welcome to Unreligiously. My name is Lauren and today I was excited to bring you this video. I don't know how I feel about it anymore, so you guys can let me know in the comments, but today we are going to be talking about a light worker, light healer, spiritual coach, now murderer, allegedly, Samantha Booth. Samantha, I started deep diving a few weeks ago when I discovered her account. She's a smaller account, but you guys know that I like to do more niche people on this account. I like to talk about people that don't have the super large followings, and like I said before, I'm not doing Brittany Dawn. Like, I'm tired of Brittany Dawn at this point, so I like to find new people, and I wanted to talk about what she's doing on the internet and how these things pop up. And I really put it all together, and then as I was finalizing that the other day, I scrolled and got a news clip. We are just gonna deep dive her in general, and I am going to talk about, at the end, what she's accused of doing and the final TikToks that she posted. I did download all of these before they get deleted. I don't know if they've been deleted yet, but I can't imagine that her lawyers will let her leave this up. But I am excited to go through this with you guys. I'm not gonna make a habit of doing true crime or anything like that, but because I was already working on the video, I don't know, I am gonna cover it. So let's just dive right into it. Let me first introduce you guys to Samantha Booth, who she is, and how her TikTok kind of starts out.
Grand Rising, everyone. I wanted to do a quick Oracle card pull for everybody this morning and just set the tone for the day. How are y'all doing? I hope this morning is easy on you and you got restful sleep.
When I saw this video first, I thought that she was very likable. I didn't have an issue, but I will say, as you continue to watch her videos, you will start to have alarm bells going off. That's why I was in the progress of creating this video. And so I do just want to let her kind of explain to you guys a little bit more about her beliefs and who she is, but I want to give you these early day TikToks that she posted that really gives you a good background, and I'll dive more into it.
Things are about to shift and change in a really big fucking way. Like, catastrophic. On a massive fucking level. I feel a little delulu because I just know that I need to leave. I don't even know where I'm fucking going, but I have to fucking get out of here. And where I'm at, I'm currently suffocated, and you might be feeling the same fucking way, and you're feeling this call rise inside of your soul, a call to action. We don't exactly have directions yet of like where we're supposed to go, like what we're supposed to be doing, but we know that we're supposed to be doing something and helping in some way.
When I saw videos more like this, which is a bulk of them, it did make me question, is she talking about this in a spiritual context? Is she saying I need to get out of here and leave in a spiritual way? I feel spiritually stuck. I need a new spiritual environment for myself. If so, I don't really know what that looks like. But is she saying that literally? And if so, I'm a little bit concerned. I am not a therapist. I say this in almost every video. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a doctor. But we do see examples of people going through some kind of like a manic episode or psychosis online. We've seen that before. We did a video specifically on Stephen Hilton and Kendra talking about her psychiatrist and her talking to ChatGPT and calling herself the Oracle. People can very easily spiral when they're unhealthy and they're on the internet, right? But with how long this goes on her account, how consistent it is, you know, I don't know. I don't know if this is an episode of something. You guys can let me know. I know that I do have therapists who do watch my channel. So if you're a therapist, maybe you can weigh in anecdotally on what this presentation could potentially be. I don't know. To me, it does concern me because it mirrors some of the other behavior we've seen on people who seem like they're going through some kind of a mental health episode. And if that was a family member of mine, unless I knew that they were for a fact saying that they need like a spiritual change, even in that case, I think I'd be concerned, but I would be concerned if I saw that. And so it does make me wonder, you know, what was really going on in her personal life and where she really was at spiritually at this time, if it really was healthy for her.
I started this platform with a lot of intentions to help people heal and share my healing gifts and all the things. But who's to fucking say I'm not fucking doing that already? It doesn't look like how I thought it would. But neither does my fucking life. And it doesn't mean I haven't accomplished things. I'm a fucking perfectionist and a fucking recovering people pleaser. And I think this is a huge fucking lesson for me because I tend to think I know what's best for me, what's best for other people, and how things are supposed to look or turn out or how the journey's supposed to be. And that's just not how it fucking works.
Samantha is like 35 years old, for those of you who didn't know. She kind of dresses and comes across as a little more youthful than that, is a little bit younger. But she is 35, so please do keep that in mind. I do think that that's a relevant point as you guys watch through this and you have that context that this isn't somebody who is, you know, really like a young developing mind that's spiritually exploring for the first time. This is a grown woman. This is a grown adult.
Hey. Do you want to know a secret? You are the medicine you seek. It's not outside of you. It is you. Accept yourself. Love yourself. Treat yourself how you treat others. Take care of your body. Nourish it. It is your temple. Express yourself how you've always wanted to. It's you, babe. You're the magic. You're the medicine. You're the healing.
This is one of those scenarios where I have to ask, like, how much do you believe what you're saying? Because, like, if my friend came to me and said, like, that I knew was a Christian or religious or spiritual, whatever, they came to me and said, hey, Lauren, I talked to God yesterday and blah, 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 blah. I would know that they are talking about that in the context of like, I prayed and in a way that is arguably emotionally healthy and beneficial for them. But when people like her are talking and they say things like, I talked to God yesterday, you do have to ask yourself, are they saying this in a literal way? Are they saying like I am literally physically speaking to God who is audibly speaking back to me? Because that's a different situation, and once again it goes from like I'm going to support you and your spirituality and your spiritual journey, your religious beliefs, I'm going to respect that. It changes from that to, do I need to seek help for you? Do you need support in some way? Like, I don't know if you guys have ever had somebody that you know go through a mental health crisis. I just have to wonder, you know, if people, it'll be interesting to see with more reporting coming out, but with her, I do wonder if she's not being serious here, because when I first watched that, I thought, okay, like it is a little new agey, like it is a little more out there for her to be saying, you are the medicine. But I think in a way, like if we're just talking about in the same way that someone talking to God means that they're praying, I would say, yeah, like you can probably within yourself, you have the power to work out most of your like conflicts in life. That being said, like you can't just, you are not your own literal medicine. You can't literally necessarily change your circumstances. There are a lot of very real barriers out there that exist. And so this was a point where I did start to question, you know, is Samantha talking about this in a way that's just like, this is my practice and how I view the world? Or like, and I'm using figurative language, or do I literally mean this? Am I saying exactly what I mean to you guys directly? But enough of that. I do want to show you more of the spiritual content. She does make a lot of different videos talking about whether you're clairaudient, claircognizant, and what that means. I am just going to show you guys what she says it means. And to me, this is one of those things where it's like a horoscope, where if you told me that it, like I'm a Libra, if you told me that I was reading a Libra horoscope and it was really like the Aries horoscope, would I be like, ooh, that doesn't fit with me, that's weird? Probably not. I could probably still be like, that relates in some way. And with the clairaudient, claircognizant, you know, she talks about a lot of like gut feelings or like all of a sudden feeling like you know something, or having like, you know, premonitions about things.
Here are some signs that you're claircognizant. Claircognizant means clear knowing. You have a super strong inner knowing about things, and you don't even really know why you know. It doesn't even make sense how you know it, why you know it, but you just fucking know it. You're like, yeah, that's right. You get spontaneous flashes of insight. Some people call them downloads. Like when people talk about that gut feeling, girl. Probably the friend at that party that's like, I don't know, man. I don't know about Joe. I always get a weird feeling about him. And they're like, what do you mean? They're so nice. What, Joe? What do you mean? You wanted her to fly. Breaking news. Joe killed his mom. What's wrong with me? But like, you knew it though. You fucking knew that Joe was gonna... I hope you learned something.
These are things that, you know, everybody's going to experience. Deja vu, like having dreams that are very clear, right? So as you go through this, I want you guys to be open-minded in the way, not that you really are trying to see if you're clairaudient or claircognizant, but I want you to be open-minded and think, if I were in a very vulnerable mental state, if I were going through a hard time and I thought I might be spiritually powerful in some way, and I was like looking for affirmation of that, if I watched these videos, would I come away potentially being convinced that I am these things and that I have these kind of spiritual superpowers? I think the answer is yes, because once again, like the horoscope example, I think that the definitions are written in such a way that they can be applicable to anybody.
Here are some signs that you're clairaudient. You hear really high-pitched ringing as confirmation to something. You hear a calming, soft voice in your head that has really strong wisdom that guides you. Kind of just like a knowing. And some people actually hear voices outside of themselves. They hear external voices from spirit outside of their ear. Sometimes people hear music, some people hear sounds, and these are all different ways that spirit can communicate us through clairaudience. One of my strongest clairaudient abilities is automatic writing. When I start to write, I start to channel, and I hear that calm, present voice that I was talking about through my head, and it just comes through me very naturally. Clairsentient means clear feeling, and I feel like this one isn't talked about too much as with the clairs, but it's my strongest one. You sense and feel things in your body as if they're your own. You sense other people's emotions, and you can feel things in your body that are outside of you, which can be extremely overwhelming and takes a lot of practice to discern what's mine and what's somebody else's that I'm picking up on. I feel goosebumps, chills. Sometimes I feel tingles on the top of my crown. My third eye will start throbbing. It's like a negative energy I'm picking up on. If I walk into a place and this place is like a no-go, I will feel tightness in my chest, tightness in my throat, kind of like a weighted blanket. Feels like the energy is denser around me. You can sense energy, and you would make a really good energy healer if you were clairsentient. Some signs you're clairvoyant. Clairvoyance is clear seeing, or having the ability to see beyond just the physical eye. It can show up in ways of very vivid dreams, having mental images in your third eye. You probably see a lot of colors, and you're probably a visual learner. You learn a lot easier when you see something tangibly in front of you, as opposed to being told directions just verbally. Clairvoyants are actually able to see things outside of them, be able to see energy. They might see some smoke, or like waves of energy or flashes of light. Some people see aura. See faces and objects and symbols in everyday things. Like trees, you might start to notice or see things, images come through. You might see them in clouds, you might see animals, faces, passed on level. Things like really show up and communicate with you through images and visual stimuli. Have very strong, intuitive, even often prophetic dreams. People will come to them through their dreams, pass on loved ones, spiritual teachers. You might see an event happen before it plays out. These people have very, very strong intuition. If you are one of these people who has very prophetic dreams, I strongly urge you to play with that more.
How many of the things on those lists did you guys check off? Did you come away from this learning that you are actually claircognizant or clairaudient? What was the other one where you like can feel things or something? Clairsomatic, whatever. I don't know. I think that it's kind of predatory in a way. I don't think that this is intentional on Samantha's part. I think she's probably also a victim. But it is predatory, these definitions being so broad, because it is just trying to kind of suck in anyone and everyone who is in a vulnerable mindset. If there is reality to this, if some people really do have these types of spiritual gifts, I'm sure that the people who really do have these gifts don't appreciate it being like marketed to people who are in vulnerable mental states. At this point, I was like, all right, she's a light worker, she's online, not necessarily too concerned. But then she did start, delivering messages to her audience. She started channeling.
I have a very strong message, an urgent message from Spirit that needs to come through, so I'm going to share with you guys. There is a collective upheaval, a collective shedding energetically, politically, on a mindset level, very much like physically, in the physical body, in the physical tangible things that are on Earth. Like Earth itself is having an upheaval, and we are seeing it and we are feeling it in everything. You're going to, that was crazy. I just saw, like, I can't explain what I just saw. You're going to sense a lot of shifts within yourself, within your own mind, your own psyche, in your own body. You are being forced, as we all are right now, to go within. To go within. And so many people and structures and ideologies are going without. There's been too much external everywhere. We're looking for everything external.
My question is, though, at what point in history could we have said that this wasn't true? I think that history has shown that society is always changing, always advancing, always working towards something new. And so I think this could be true of any time. I don't know if she has a gift or not, but once again, it's so broad that I think it really could fit anything. But the concern to me isn't really, do I believe whether or not she's actually channeling a message from Spirit to us or not? My question is, does Samantha believe that she is channeling a message from Spirit or not? Does she really believe that? Because to me, my money's on yes. I think that she probably really does. In these videos, they come across as incredibly genuine and they are incredibly consistent as well. So while obviously I don't believe that Samantha is a light healer, I don't think that I probably believe in light healers in general, but feel free to educate me on that. While I don't believe that, I do think that Samantha does. I don't think that this is just a grift.
I actually barely graduated high school. I tried really hard to be popular in middle school and like try to be friends with all the popular girls and like join cheerleading and shit. I went to like a junior high, so it was like 7th through 9th grade, and so high school was 10th through 12th grade. And I remember the summer in between middle school and high school, like I literally like transformed myself, but like not in the way that you would think. I went from like trying to dress preppy and like fit in to showing up with like bleach blonde hair and braces and like a studded belt and like band shirts, and I was just like, I'm fucking here. Like all the girls that I was friends with before were like, right, please. I was just over it, and I was like, this is who I am, guys. This is who I am. But yeah, I barely graduated high school because I was very fucking depressed, and I honestly didn't think I had a future, so I was just like, fuck it, let's burn this bitch down. So I was capable of getting good grades and was smart. I just didn't want to fucking turn in my homework. I was like some form of rebellion because I had no control at home. So I was like, I'm just gonna fuck the system and fuck my life up. I was like this conglomerate of this like emo, hippie, stoner, sad girl with a juicy butt. Kind of still am that way. So I hung out with like the burnout kids, the ones who also didn't fit in. But like, I think we were the coolest ones, actually. Also went to high school with like people who like had money and like nice cars and like nice clothes and shit. And I drove like a half hour away to like go to high school because I was like so sick of changing schools, because I changed schools so much in my life. So by the time I got my fucking license and my mom moved again, I was like, I'm not fucking changing schools. I drove far away from like the poor to like the rich people, and like really they aren't even rich, but like to me they were like rich. So I had like all thrifted clothes before it was cool, and I got made fun of a lot, you know. I got bullied. One time this guy asked me to homecoming pretty much as a joke. He was on the football team and I really liked him, and I think he actually really liked me, but he was like embarrassed that he liked me. And then by the time I got to homecoming, he ditched me for one of the girls that was in that popular group that I was talking about.
But you guys have seen Samantha's mindset a little bit, but who is she really? What are the people around her doing? Are they concerned about her? Are they worried about her like I am, like we are, hopefully? I don't know, but Samantha does go into her young life and talks about her family, and so I want to share some of those clips with you here so you can get a real background from Samantha's own words about what growing up was like and what her relationship to her family is like.
I grew up being told that I was too much and not enough at the same time. That me being weird and silly and emotional and sensitive was too much, and I needed to turn it down. And I've been doing so much work on myself the past few years to allow myself to just be myself. And when I came on this app, I had such a huge intention of helping people heal, but along the way it's been helping myself heal, because I'm allowing myself to show up authentically and be playful and fun and joyous and child-free, and it has been helping me heal so much of my inner child. It is a miracle that I'm still here and that you're even watching this video. There were so many times I wanted to leave this planet.
In that clip, Samantha does talk to us about having very bad depression and anxiety in high school, talking also about feeling kind of isolated, getting a little bit bullied, and kind of fitting in with this burnout group of kids. All of that can have a really big effect on your self-esteem, and it doesn't necessarily mean anything that she's had issues with depression and anxiety in the past, but this is the first video of many where she does talk about her mental health and how big of a part of her journey it really has been.
I went to my cousin's wedding this weekend, and this particular side of my family I have had to step away from, cut contact from a lot of them, and set very strong boundaries with. There is a lot of abuse and a lot of enabled abuse on this side of the family, and I was the first one to be like, no, I'm not putting up with this shit.
This is not a comment on anyone that's living at home with their parents. In this economy, I completely understand why you would want to do that. It's probably the smart choice, frankly. But Samantha is 35, and she is still living with her parents, allegedly. It would seem, based on her own admissions. I think in one of the videos later she'll say that I've saved, but she does say that in her videos that she lives with her parents. And so, well, it does seem that she brings up boundaries with her family quite a bit, and there might be tension there, like they might not be in a place where they can openly comment on how is your mental health. It seems like things are going downhill. This is not a, critique on her family, but it does seem like they are around despite the, issues that she's had with them in the past. She does kind of make it sound in these early videos like she's set really strong boundaries and has put herself first, but she is really still living in the same environment with them. So although I do hope that that has been an okay environment for her, although it seems like things have not gone well ultimately.
If you are an empath or a light worker who also grew up in a toxic or abusive family dynamic, I want you to listen to this message. Our pain and the things that we went through in our path was literally the catalyst for our growth. It was the greatest gift we could have ever received. And it is so hard to accept it as a gift sometimes because it was so painful and we had to endure so much that we did not deserve in order to grow and transform.
Which, once again, I'm not doubting it, but it does make me question what she's really saying here. It does seem like she does see her family a lot. She lives with her family. So I just don't know what she really means. Is she speaking vaguely? It does just seem like, unfortunately, though, again, not doubting her lived experience, it does seem like regardless, there has just been a lot of trouble and tension in that area, and that is not a great situation for anyone to be in.
I've been thinking a lot about my spiritual awakening and when it first happened to me, and the things that I wish that I knew and had been told to me when it happened to me. I had my spiritual awakening when I was 2015, and it was during a time that I was struggling to stay on this planet. I didn't want to be here anymore. I took everything in me to stay here, and it was the first time that I had felt other beings and spirits that were here guiding me and helping me. And I was like a hardcore atheist. I didn't believe in anything. I believed that you died and you were buried in the ground, and like that was it. And so after having that experience and coming out of like a really dark depression, I felt like I was crazy. I thought I was crazy. I thought I was losing my mind. I thought I was like schizophrenic or something. And I always knew I was sensitive. I've always been a sensitive kid and I had experienced things and I was an empath, but I just didn't understand the magnitude of what was beyond and the weavings and the interconnectedness of the physical and spiritual world. I didn't understand my gifts because in my entire life they were silenced and told that they were my biggest weaknesses. I wasn't taught emotional tools, how to regulate myself, and I was told that the things that make me most beautiful were the things that made me the most ugly and that need to be changed about myself. So it took me a really long time to unravel and unlearn these fucking beliefs, but I make this video to tell somebody because I know that somebody is here who is waking up.
This time, the light worker speak started to really ramp up.
Somebody asked me what my spiritual awakening felt like, and I had to really think about it. Here's what I came up with. It kind of felt like sleepwalking in the kitchen, and you're like looking for cookies, and like you have like one arm in the cookie jar, and then like another arm like down the middle of your pants, and like somebody comes in and like turn the lights on, and you're just like, Mom. You have like, you know, hand in pants, hand in cookie jar, and you're just like, you're just caught, and you're just like, why am I here? Why am I doing these things? And why didn't anybody wake me up?
This was actually the video that I stumbled upon that started the whole thing. I was scared and I was like, this does not feel right to me. Something feels off. And then the very next video that I found about Samantha Booth is this next video that I'm about to show you, which is about her spiritual journey, where she goes a little bit more into her mental health.
For me and my understanding of being a light worker, just as I got chills as I said that, it's having this deep knowing and calling inside of you, almost like a call to action to be a really big shift on this planet during this time. Like, you might have always known inside of you that like, I am meant to help shift. I am meant to help be of service. Many of us are very empathic. We feel other people's emotions and energies. Some of us can telepathically communicate with animals, sometimes other humans, and they're just very heart-centered in the way that they approach everything in life. Many of us are here to kind of pave a new way, a new path, a way of being, a way of connecting and operating, the complete opposite of how society has been ran. We are literally here at this time for a very big shift. And we are here to anchor the light. We are here to shift consciousness. We are here to activate a remembrance in other people who have forgotten, sometimes for many lifetimes, who they are and where we came from and how we are supposed to be living.
It could just be for TikTok videos, but the mood does seem to jump up and down. Just compare the video I just showed you guys to the video about the same exact spiritual journey that I'm about to show you now.
There are going to be so many people that are going to be triggered by you being in your power and feeling empowered in your divine, authentic self. And that's not something that they really prepare you for when you do a lot of healing work and a lot of inner work, and you start to take back and reclaim who you are. People are going to be fucking pissed off by that because they're not going to understand how you did it. They're not going to understand how you went through all you went through, and they've only known you as this disempowered, meek, people pleaser person, and it is now a direct mirror of how they're not being empowered. How did she do that? And it's not your responsibility to take the pain away from them, which I know is really hard for us to do, especially if you're empathic. It's their shit to sit with, not yours. If you bring up a reaction or activate somebody by you being in your power, that says more about them than it does about you. Don't be afraid to outshine people. Don't be afraid to outgrow people or situations. Your light is more important and needed, and you fucking deserve to feel good about yourself. You deserve to know your power and to walk in that authentically in your fucking body and to own it, and it will be felt hugely, widely. People are going to gravitate towards you who are in resonance with you, and people who are triggered by you are going to talk behind your back. They're not going to support you. They're going to be passive aggressive, and you're not going to understand why. It has nothing to do with you. Let them.
Even though some of these videos have had some darker, themes or elements or kind of tones to them, Samantha herself has been very positive and clearly very much believes it and is not distressed by her own feelings. But this is where I noted that things on her account started to take a turn, and they didn't really feel like they were the same emotional stability to me. I'll show you guys for yourself, but they just felt like a whole different vibe.
Not okay to just go into somebody else's energy field and do energy work on them, or pull through messages, or communicate with their guides or their passed on loved ones. It's not okay. Just because you have the tools to go in and get messages and help them doesn't mean they're ready for that. Imagine if you're driving in your car and somebody's doing energy work on you and you're having an emotional release and you have no idea what the fuck is going on with you. That's like being a mechanic and like, well, I know how to work on cars, so I'm gonna pop your hood and just start moving shit around. Sir, I know that you know how to work on cars, but I didn't give you consent to touch my fucking hood. It's like, seriously though, like, all jokes aside, it's not okay. It's not okay to go into somebody else's shit without their consent.
It just feels like a little bit much. And personally, for me, I have never liked the if somebody's mean to you, they're jealous of you thing. At least in my case, I have found that to like never, I don't think I've ever seen a real example of that. But that seems to kind of be like where she takes her videos.
You guys need to be really careful who's out there claiming they're a chosen one, which I also just feel like is pretty ego-driven in the first place. In my experience, the people who are out there preaching the most that they're, reincarnated Yeshua, or they're a chosen one, or they're Archangel Michael reincarnated, or all of these things are experiencing spiritual psychosis. And I think what's really happening is that they are having a spiritual awakening and they are realizing that they are of the divine, as we all are. And they're seeing through the illusion of the Matrix and all the things, and they're understanding that they are God, essentially, as we all are. Just be wary, you guys. There's some people on here that are preaching a lot of things, and behind closed doors, they are not also living in the way that they are saying that they are living.
Talking about people's energy spaces and not going into them and consent, I mean, she seems hyped up in this video, and to me, this one also concerned me a little bit, just going, she definitely, in my opinion, does believe exactly what she's talking about, and she believes that this is a real issue, which, again, I don't mean if you guys are, any of you are more new agey and you align with Samantha. I just don't know enough about New Age to know what's like a red flag or not. You guys are gonna have to educate me on this one. To me, it feels like red flags, I'm gonna be honest, but I really do want to acknowledge that that is like potentially coming from a very uneducated place on some of the New Age practices. I just think in general, we should be very wary about believing that we are speaking to other entities or that we have supernatural powers. Can we agree on that? I'm not saying there's no possibility that people do have spiritual gifts like this. I just personally think like Samantha doesn't, and I think that she's probably experiencing something that we could diagnose. Then what I would consider being a little bit paranoid, she also starts talking about somebody trying to destiny swap you and what to watch out for. I'll show you guys this video, but I'm just gonna be honest, I don't believe this is a real thing. I'm genuinely so sorry if that offends any of you guys, but for myself, I don't believe that anyone can just come into my life and do some weird stuff and destiny swap with me. What is going to happen in my life is going to happen in my life, and nobody can steal my destiny from me. Maybe an opportunity, maybe, and stealing, I don't even think. It's like if they get the opportunity, then they get the opportunity, whatever. But it does come across as a little bit paranoid, as a little bit unhinged, and her content really does keep taking this turn. It keeps taking this dive of feeling a little bit more chaotic. The talking is a little bit faster paced. She seems stressed out, and it feels like something just happened. It gives me the same energy as somebody who just was like, when the women were getting like punched in the face in New York, and then they would like record a TikTok and be like, I just got punched in the face. What's going on? Why are all of us getting... It gives like that panicked, chaotic, like it did something just traumatic happen to me kind of energy. But she's talking about things like people trying to destiny swap, or things like people... It's not okay to come into people's energy fields without their consent and read for them or pull, cards or I am certainly not, I've never run into a situation where somebody's like, excuse me, I have a message from your dead loved one. Like, nobody's ever done that.
Here's some signs somebody's trying to destiny swap you. They feel inferior to you. It's pathetic. They probably start dressing like you, talking like you, wearing their hair like you, wearing your perfume, your cologne, whatever it is. They'll ask you where you got this thing. I mean, it's like they literally try to just copy who you are and what your essence is. People just literally want to beat you to your accomplishments. So, like I said earlier, like if you are trying to work on something or accomplishing something in your life, they are going to try to accomplish that thing and do it better than you.
There does seem to be some battles with sobriety, although they said they just made a lifestyle change. It wasn't a problem, but they did start to post some darker videos like the following. They obviously, I've clipped it to just keep it brief.
It's very important you listen to this message. Don't drink alcohol. It's very mean to you. Like an abusive relationship. It's really nice at first, but then you don't have any more money and you're paid. I think I want to stay single and sober forever.
It's like, it doesn't necessarily mean that there is a big problem, but these types of videos, you can see that the tone is clearly shifted from, you know, good blessed morning all, let me pull a card, to, oh my god, they're gonna destiny swap me and I should not be drinking anymore.
So here's the thing is, I'm taking mad inventory of who has showed up and loved me and supported me when I needed it the most, and who hasn't. Because when I tell you I'm going places, the real ones are coming with me. I will come back for you. You know who the fuck you are. The ones who sat there, abandoned me, watched me struggle, didn't support me, you don't have a seat at my fucking table.
And then, unfortunately, this is one of the last posts before the crime was committed. It actually might be the last post. And it feels like it's going to be part of a Netflix documentary, I'm not going to lie. It's pretty concerning. I'm going to show you another video that they posted as well during this time frame, and we're getting close to the end here. This is about where it stops because this is when the murder occurred. This was the actual last video that was posted, and I think you guys can understand why it was concerning. I'm sorry that I have it just like on repeat glitch, but I don't want the text to keep like going away. It's concerning. It's genuinely concerning, and I have to show you guys the news footage before we go any further.
She's charged with murder, but wouldn't go in front of the judge.
The amount of rage and just the sheer magnitude of this violent assault is just incomprehensible.
Tonight, we're getting our first look at the nanny accused of stabbing a grandfather to death in Royal Oak. And at her arraignment today, Samantha Booth refused to put clothes on, and she wouldn't even leave her jail cell. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Ty Steele.
I'm Kimberly Gill. A judge still formally charged her, though, with 6 different counts in the death of 83-year-old David Ong. Booth is charged with first-degree murder, second-degree child abuse, felony assault, and 3 counts of resisting and obstructing. Erica Erickson has been digging in on this story. And Erica, you've learned she actually confessed to this.
Yeah, you know, police here, we've had long conversations and they're rattled. They haven't seen something like this in a long time. Now, they say the suspect, Samantha Booth, after attacking David Ong and then trying to attack others on the way to the police station, allegedly told officers, quote, "Yes, I did it, and God, it was too easy."
She attacked the victim repeatedly with a screwdriver, an absolutely horrific crime.
The horror playing out on this Royal Oak Street, leaving many nearly speechless, as 35-year-old Samantha Booth is now charged with 6 counts, including premeditated murder. Refusing to speak or get out of her Royal Oak jail cell Tuesday, still naked, police say from 4 days prior.
She stripped off all of her bloody clothing and dropped the screwdriver in a driveway.
Booth, who police say has no criminal history, had been a nanny for the family living on Sheridan Drive for roughly 2 years. But when mom, out of town Friday, couldn't get a hold of Booth, watching her 2-year-old, police say she called the toddler's grandfather to check in, 83-year-old David Ong. But when calls then went unanswered to him, mom calling her brother-in-law.
The brother-in-law arrived at the home, saw the door was open, went inside and actually saw the suspect covered in blood in the basement.
Also in the basement, the body of David Ong. Sources say stabbed dozens and dozens and dozens of times with several screwdrivers. The brother-in-law grabbing the toddler, police believe witnessing all of it and running, screaming for help.
She actually chased the male and the child as they were running from the home. She was chasing them down the street.
Neighbors running to help. Police say Booth stripping off her clothes, still holding a screwdriver, trying to attack others, even police.
She was not coherent. She was speaking, but gibberish.
And later, police say Booth confessing.
While being transported to the station, Booth stated, "Him the up," and yes, I did it. God, it was too easy.
Big question here still is why. Well, police say they did find psychedelic mushrooms and marijuana in Booth's purse, and Booth was denied bond today, called a danger to society. Police, everyone in the court, people I'm running into here in Royal Oak, just thinking of the Ong family today. Reporting live, Erica Erickson, Local 4.
I'm glad that 2-year-old is okay in all of this. The witnessing sounds like what happened. It's just awful. Erica, thank you so much.
So I don't know what to think, you guys. This video was originally going to be a deep dive on Samantha Booth and what she believes spiritually, but by the end of it, I don't know what she believes spiritually. I don't know if she really knows what she believes spiritually, although I do believe that she believes what she believes.
I have a mutual on this app that I have known since I was 15 in real life. We used to be very close friends when we were kids. She was allegedly arrested for allegedly unaliving the 83-year-old grandfather of the child she was nannying with a screwdriver. This woman is one of like the softest, most loving people that I would even say to this day, even though we haven't talked in a while or been friends in a while, that I've ever met. So I'm extremely confused. But I do remember I was literally looking at her videos this morning, and I swear to God, I watched this one and I got a very strange feeling. I'm like, maybe I'm overthinking it, but this was posted the day before that happened. And then she posted more. And I'm just not sure if the police are even looking at her TikTok account or not. But
I just don't know. I don't know what to think. And people who know her have come out and said that she was genuinely a very kind, loving person. This isn't to minimize the horrific nature of the crime in any way. But it does make me wonder if there wasn't more going on. So I don't want to speculate too much, you guys. I guess just say, you know, send your good thoughts, your vibes. If you pray, send a prayer to the family that has been victimized here, because it is truly horrific. I don't even know, you guys. This was genuinely, creating this and then having the news story pop up was like the most shocking thing, because I'm like, I don't even know where to go with this now. And it's unclear whether or not her spiritual beliefs were part of some mental health crisis, how long she's held these beliefs, whether other people were intervening or not, whether that played any kind of role in the murder, although she is being charged with premeditated murder, so it seems like it wasn't something that just, you know, quickly happened. Have conflicting ethical views on creating true crime content, so I'm just letting you guys know that that's the development, and I'm just presenting you with all the other information. I still wanted to give you guys this deep dive because I do think it's interesting, and I think that Samantha does represent a lot of different new age type creators out there, not including the murder portion of it. But before that, her account does mirror a lot of other people who are doing this type of spirituality creator influencership online. Is it the precursor for other things? You guys will have to let me know what you think. If you are a therapist, I would love to hear more from you about this. I guess at the end of the day, I'm sorry that this isn't, you know, wrapped up a bit more with a nice bow on it. This is more of a reaction video, I guess. Thank you so much for watching. I'm in shock. Maybe you're in shock. Probably not, because I buried the lead. But I'm in genuine shock about this, and I am genuinely disturbed for the family and the child that were involved in this. Everyone like my video, comment, subscribe, do all of the things. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.